Hey, folks, how are you?
Apparently, there's a video to start this session off,
Right.
and we're waiting for it.
It'll go up anytime now,
It'll be 20 seconds
or so.
or so. We're going? All right.
All right.
Video's done. Did you enjoy it?
How was that video?
That was a good video. I like that video a lot.
I'm Carl Franklin. This is Richard Campbell. We do a show called .NET Rocks. How many of you have heard it?
Wow.
All right.
It's a big room.
Well, just for those who haven't, let me tell you a little bit about it. It's a weekly audio-only talk show. We have about 600 shows in the archive, coming up on 600 shows. Shows 50 to 100 are a little goofy, but it's all MP3 and downloads, and we talk to people that you'd be interested in hearing from. And that's our requirement. It doesn't necessarily mean it's all .NET development all the time, but mostly. Sometimes we do a little database, sometimes we do some other technology things.
Sometimes we talk to Les Pinter.
Yes, sometimes we talk to Les Pinter. Yeah.
A couple of years ago, we switched to a 2-show-a-week format. We do shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And the Tuesday show, I try and always make sure it's a technical show. And the Thursday show, I get a little crazy. And sometimes they go...
Well, Les was an interesting guy because he's a guy who wrote Word for Windows and sold it to Microsoft way back in the day.
Bill G. personally.
Yeah. So he had all sorts of crazy stories. So that's the kind of thing that we like to have on the show. Stories of technology. Anyway, that's not why we're here. We're here to play a little game. You guys ready? All right, you could win fabulous prizes. Not a car. Not a vacation. No, better. Yeah, you like it? All right.
This is the official Bring Back Clippy shirt.
Yeah,
Excellent for polishing cars.
Speaking of Word for Windows.
Speaking of Word for Windows. So here's how the game show works. We are going to pick contestants from the audience. And you'll come up stage for a moment with us. We will present a multiple choice question to you. If you know the answer, you can just give it to us. It'll be A, B, or C. If you're not sure of the answer, you can ask for a hint, and only one hint. We will provide you with that hint, and you'll give another shot at it. We would ask the audience, please do not shout out the answer. I would point out that at Tech in Australia last week, they shouted out only incorrect answers.
We do not want you to do that.
Yes,
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say that, but... And then if you get it right, and I'm betting you will, we'll give you a fabulous T-shirt and move on to the next question. That's the rules of engagement. You got to figure it out? All right, I guess we need some contestants.
We do. Who wants to
go for first question? Because we always start off easy with these. Come on up, sir.
Just come on up.
Come on up here. Come up on the side stage here.
You can form a line, I think, Richard, right? If they want to.
If you are prepared to be a contestant, please come right down here and we can do this quickly. We have a whole bunch of questions. Or I'm going to give them all to this guy, one way or the other. Come on, right up. We'll leave those guys down here. You come up first. Aha! Found his
We got a little traveling music. That's all you get.
All right. Hi. What's your name? Where are you from?
Bevan Arch from Wellington.
From Wellington. I've been there. And are you a developer?
Definitely a code geek.
A code geek. I like code geeks. And do you listen to .NET Rocks?
Most episodes.
Okay, so that won't help you at all for this particular question. But don't you worry, because like I said, we always lead off easy.
Yeah, no sweat, don't worry. No need to be nervous. So, which of the following is not a valid regular expression for validating an email address? Is it A, B, or C? Now, while you're thinking about that, I'm just going to talk to my friend Richard. Hey, Richard.
Hi there.
Hey, you're from Canada, eh?
I am A.
Yeah, you guys talk funny up there, eh?
We do A.
Okay. All right, I'm done talking.
What do you think? A, B, or C?
I'd go with A.
He says it's A, Carl.
Ta-dam!
Ah, you are
It's
correct,
A.
sir. Well done.
Well, we might as well have him pick his size, or are they all one size?
They're all the same
No.
size. They come in paperclip size. So congratulations. Big hand. Nicely done. Our next contestant, come right up, sir. Hi there. What's your name? Where are you from?
Evan, Auckland.
Even from Auckland. So you're going home tonight. Maybe you'll go home with a nice T-shirt. And are you a developer or IT pro?
Developer.
Excellent. You listen to .NET Rocks?
Yep.
Good, because this is a .NET Rocks question.
Here you go. In show 461 with Stephen Forte, Richard read an email from a listener commenting on a discussion with Paul Randall about A, GUIDs as primary keys, B, Kim Tripp talking too fast, or C, the death of DVCC.
Well, I definitely remember A being a question on one of the shows, and B was not about talking too fast, but about making everybody's head hurt. So,
I do remember.
I would say A.
He says it's A.
A is correct.
Ah, well done, sir.
Fantastic. I
actually
remember
listened
that.
to that.
That
Thank you very
show
much.
was the first time we interviewed Kim, and she went on about 14 different tangents. She had so much information on the stack, I was running out of stack memory.
Nice. Come on up, sir. Let's see how our next contestant will do. Hi there. What's your name? Where are you from?
Regan, I'm from Auckland.
Regan. Nice to meet you. Developer?
Dabbler, really.
I won't hold it against you.
So I don't do all the code myself.
All right.
You and me both, my friend. It's all right. And you listen to .NET Rocks?
Occasionally, when I have time.
Excellent.
That's right, though.
All right. Here's a question.
Excellent. Here you go. In .NET 4.0, what is the new data type handling extremely large numbers? Is it A, big integer, B, really large number, or C, New Zealand bandwidth cost type?
I really like to say C, but it'd have to be A.
Yeah, it's
Go
A.
with A. Nicely done.
Fabulous.
There you go, sir. Well done.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Come on up.
That's it. That's all we got. Come on. We're going to be here a long time.
Hi there. What's your name? Where are you from?
Greg from Auckland.
Welcome, Greg. Are you a developer?
Developer.
And what sort of software are you building these days?
.NET stuff, I guess.
That's good, because, we're at a .NET conference. This would be the right place for you. Let's see what his question is.
All right, here you go. In show 458, how did I learn to turn off the background graphic on the Bing homepage? A, I read about it on MSDN. B, Rocky Latka told me. Or C, I Googled it.
Any thoughts?
Don't know, don't listen.
All right.
But
It's okay. I'm not going to hold it against you. Just look at me. I'm going to give you a hint here. Okay, you ready? You're looking at me. Now close your eyes. Now what can't you do? What was that?
C.
He says it's C.
excellent.
He Googled it. That's not your finest hour, Carl.
Yeah, well, it is kind of an ironic answer. if
It
you
is
think
kind of
about it.
ironic. Hi there. What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Wagner from Auckland.
Welcome, Wagner. Developer?
Yes.
Excellent. You listen to .NET Rocks?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think this is a .NET Rocks question. Let's see.
We'll find out. In XAML, what is the property that sets how transparent a control or form surface is? Is it A, opacity, B, transparency, or C, see-throughicity?
No one has hints yet, right? So,
Well, we've given away a couple of hints, but you can ask if you want a hint or not.
a hint, please.
He'd like a hint, Carl.
I think you ought to give him a hint.
I can give you a hint, but you have to be paying attention. Any thoughts?
A?
He says it's A.
Yeah, it's A.
Well done, sir. There you go. Thanks very much. Hi, come on up.
I think you should have this box, Richard.
Why, thank you. I have a shirt for you. What's
Unless
your name?
you-
Where are you from?
Unless you'd rather have a
from
Coke.
Wellington.
Jonas from Wellington.
Would you rather have a Coke than a shirt? No.
And do you listen to .NET Rocks?
No.
Good. I wouldn't listen to that show either. Here's his question.
All right, here you go. On what show did Richard Campbell first appear? Is it A, 100, B, 69, or C, 74? And I know these are just numbers, so you want to be careful when you pick, because you might be wrong.
Could I have a hint?
Okay. As long as you be attentive to what I'm trying to make you believe, I will be willing to give you a hint. All right? Any thoughts?
I'm being attentive.
Yeah, it's B. It's B.
I'll go with B.
Says it's B.
Great job.
There you go, sir. Congratulations. Next up, ooh,
Got a little traveling music.
a little
for you.
traveling music. Hi there. What's your name? Where are you from?
Ben from Wellington,
Hi, Ben. What do you do?
IT Pro.
Excellent. I've been an IT pro. I got over it. Sometimes I do a show called Run As Radio, which is when I'm exercising my IT side. But, so, listening to .NET Rocks?
No.
Good. I won't hold that against you. That's fine. Let's see what question we got for you.
Here's your question. In .NET 2.0, what happens when an exception is thrown from a worker thread, that's not the main thread, and it goes unhandled by that thread? A, the main thread throws a system unhandled thread exception. B, a thread exception object is added to the main thread's thread exceptions collection property. No, seems like overkill to me. Or C, the process is terminated.
What do you think?
Might need a hint with this one.
You might need a hint, Carl.
Well, you could either choose A, which let's go through these one by one logically, shall we? So if you have an unhandled exception and you don't do anything about it, why would it then throw a particular kind of thread exception, like system unhandled thread exception?
That's sort of an exception of an exception.
That would be an exception of an exception. That doesn't make any sense. Or B, a thread exception object added to the main thread's thread exceptions collection property. That's like touching my private members. I don't like that at all. Don't touch my privates is what I when I'm coding.
You're just that kind of guy.
I'm just thinking that there's really only one choice that seems logical.
Could it possibly be C?
He thinks it's C.
I think it's C.
Well
yes.
done. It's a good one.
Excellent.
The process is terminated. Do you have
What was
anything to
that?
do with llamas and hats?
Llamas and hats.
What is llamas and hats?
What? YouTube it?
YouTube llamas and hats.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh,
I'm just betting, it's not a wise thing to do while it's up on the big screen. I'm
yeah,
guessing.
maybe not.
Just saying.
But thanks, I will later in my room when I'm alone.
Maybe with some chocolate.
Maybe with a little orange juice. I don't know.
All right, let's bring up our next contestant. Hi there. What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Peter from Christchurch.
Welcome, Peter. Christchurch a little bit further away. Did you drive or fly?
I flew.
That's a good choice. Yeah, you just want to drive a little wet. All right. Developer?
Architect.
Architect, okay. So you're like a developer, only you don't develop. It's like a guy who can read but doesn't.
I've been known to cut some code.
Okay. And do you listen to .NET Rocks?
I do.
Excellent, because I think this is a .NET Rocks question.
I believe it is.
All right.
In the first episode, Regional Director Pat Hines tells a story about his company jumped ship on a J2EE project after 2 man-years and wrote it in C#, which was with the beta of C# 1.0. This was from 2002. In A, 4 man-months. B, 5 man-months. Or C, 6 man-months.
Any thoughts?
I didn't jump until episode 200, but I'm going to go with A.
He says
Yeah,
it's A.
It's A. It was only 4
well done.
man-months. The
There you go,
beta
sir.
of C#.
Thank you.
C# 1.0 beta.
1.0 beta. Come on up.
Great.
Hi there. What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Dean from the down deep south in Dunedin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Way far south. All right. And you're a software developer?
No, sorry.
IT pro?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all right. Fits allowed.
Dean, you said?
Keep him around Dean.
So down south, that's like cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real
Opposite
cold.
of where we are. Where
Yeah.
you got to go south to get warm. All right. Which of the following is not a member in System.Windows controls? Is it A, stack panel, B, cleanup virtualized event args, or C, sticky fingers?
Remember, this is not a member.
Not.
Not a member.
Not a member.
Not a member. I'm
a bit
still stuck. I
dodgy.
still need another hint.
Bit dodgy, a bit sticky. Just saying.
Okay, let's
I
get to
think.
C then.
It's going for C.
Yeah, it's C, sticky fingers.
Nicely done.
They wouldn't name a member after Rolling Stones album.
No. Thank you very much. All right. Bring up our next contestant. How are you?
Well,
Your name, sir?
Simon.
Simon from Wellington. And you're a software developer.
Yes, I am.
.NET.
.NET
Because Java developers are next door.
and Perl.
Okay, and Perl. So you do have some forms of brain damage. All right. And you listen to .NET Rocks.
I've listened to it a couple of hundred.
Wow. Great.
It's good because we've made a couple of hundred, actually. All right. He's a fan, is he? That's
Okay.
good. All right. Well, hopefully you get this question right. Hopefully. And it's a question, Carl.
All right, here you go. On show 457 with Sahil Malik, what are the two opposing roles in any typical IT project? A, the academics versus the engineers. B, developer fairies versus infrastructure ogres. Or C, the good guys versus the bad guys. What did Sahil say were the two opposing roles in any IT project?
Well, isn't it developers versus people who play with SharePoint?
Ah, that's a good one.
And if that doesn't make you an ogre, nothing will.
He was being a little glib.
He is.
He was.
I'm going to go with B.
Says it's B.
Yeah, that's right. Developer fairies and infrastructure ogres.
And I would point out that
Traveling
after
with
he
that.
said that, I think we took about a 10-minute break to laugh.
Right.
Congratulations. Nicely done. All right, who's coming up next? Hi there. What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm John from Auckland.
Welcome, John. Software developer?
Yeah, developer.
Listen to .NET Rocks?
Yep.
Excellent. Good answer. What's his question?
Here you go, John. What method should you call when you want to really get rid of a COM object from managed code? A, dispose, B, finalize, or C, system.runtime.interruptservices.marshal.release COM object?
What do you think?
I go with A.
You could go with A.
Did
I don't
you
know that I
see that-
would,
did
but
you
it's
see
certainly
that-
an option.
Really is in italics there when you want to really get rid of a COM object.
C.
He says it's C.
It's C.
Ah, well done. There you go, sir. Congratulations. Thank you very much. And our next contestant, question number 12. We got a pile of them. What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Brett from Dunedin.
Welcome, Brett. So you came from way down, too.
Indeed.
And what do you do down in Dunedin?
I'm a software developer.
Fantastic. Preferably .NET?
At times.
Sometimes. You also got you're a little young, so I think you do a little Ruby on the side.
Python, Perl.
Okay, so yeah, it's like Ruby Light. Don't say the J word. You're in the wrong place for the J word. All right. What's his question?
Here you go. In episode 23, Dino Esposito from Italy tells the world about his distaste for a certain kind of American food. Is it A, cheeseburgers, B, barbecue, or C, chicken nuggets? Cheeseburgers, barbecue, or chicken nuggets?
Would it be B then?
I think, yeah, it was B. Yeah,
It is B.
in particular, he said that's the stuff that we throw away in Italy. Yeah.
Congratulations. Nicely done. All right, who's our next contestant? Hi there, how are you? What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Dale from Auckland.
Welcome, Dale. Software development?
Used to be.
Used to be, got over it?
Yes.
It all happens to lots of us. And listen to .NET Rocks?
I think I will.
And great idea. It's a good time to start.
Cool.
There's about, 500 and something of them. It won't take long. All right, let's see what his question is.
Here's your question, Dale. ASP.NET 4.0 adds the provider model to the output cache. Which one of these providers is not included? A, the ASP.NET internal provider, B, the SQL provider, or C, the disk cache provider?
I need a bit of a hint too.
I don't know. For a guy who was a developer, it's a little unbelievable that he wouldn't think of an answer to this.
Yeah, I think maybe we ought to come out with a... Yeah.
He said what?
I'll go for B.
He said B.
He says B?
He
B?
said B, yeah.
B. B is
B.
it, the
Nicely
SQL
done.
provider.
All right.
Kind of a surprise answer if you think about
Came
it.
out of nowhere.
Richard,
Well
why
done.
didn't they include the SQL provider?
Why
That's
would you?
strange. Because they already have Entity Framework and
Well,
ADO.NET.
I mean, the
and
main
all of
reason
that
is
other
that
stuff.
you already do caching on SQL Server,
Yeah.
so why create another one? All right, bring up our next contestant here. Hi there, what's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Jake. I'm from Christchurch.
Welcome. And software developer?
Yep. .NET.
.NET is good. Listen to .NET Rocks. Will soon. As this is the .NET Rocks question, so this will be something you can look up later. All right, what do we got?
Here you go. Which of the following does not annoy Miguel Castro? According to show number 448 titled The Top 10 Things That Really Annoy Miguel Castro. A, CSLA is not SOA. These are the things that people say that annoy him, right? B, code case sensitivity. That really annoys him, maybe. Or C, stored procs bad, ORM good. Two of these are hot button issues to him, and one is an old argument that's dead. It be dead. It be dead.
Ooh, I'm going to have to go with B on that one.
Yeah, I think it's code case sensitivity.
Nice.
He really could care less about that.
I always thought that code case sensitivity was an evil prank, but that's just me. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Come on up. Our next contestant for question number 15. And we're tearing through this. Hi there. What's your name? Where are you from?
Dennis. I'm from West Auckland.
West
Yeah.
Auckland. Now,
West Auckland.
now, if you go a little too west in this country, you end up in an ocean.
Pretty much.
Okay. Nice. And you a software developer?
IT Pro.
IT Pro, that's all right. We allow those in this room too. And so probably don't listen to Donna Rocks either.
Not yet.
Okay, you don't need to because I think this is a technical question, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Which one of these features is only available in the Visual Studio 2010 Ultimate Edition? A, unit testing tools. B, offline database development tools. Or C, web load testing tools.
Any thoughts?
I'm going to need a hint on that one.
He needs a hint.
Sorry, what did you
Bless
say?
you.
What'd you say?
Well,
You need a hint?
Yeah. Sounds like web load testing tools.
It's web load testing
Web
tools.
load testing tools, yep. The rest are in the smaller versions. That's a $13,000 package of software to do web load testing. So congratulations. All right. Let's keep rolling along here. Our next contestant. Hi there. What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Vikas from Wellington
Welcome. And you software developer?
for life.
Yeah.
Okay, not
I
gonna
like
give it
that
up?
Answer.
No,
On his deathbed with a keyboard.
Absolutely.
The screen projected on the ceiling so you don't actually have to sit up. Okay, that's the
On
way to go.
honeymoon, hang on a second, honey. I'll be right there. Here we go.
All right, here's your question.
In episode 454, what did Rory Blythe identify as the only reason developers would like building iPhone applications in Objective-C? A, because Jobs said so. B, Stockholm Syndrome. Or C, peer pressure.
What do you think?
sorry, I need a hint.
It was an amazingly sarcastic remark that he got crap for. Is Rory Swedish?
He's not Swedish,
No,
but he
looks
seems
it.
to know something
He
about
knows
Sweden.
something about Sweden.
Yes,
Yeah.
something. Although that really had more to do with Patty Hearst, but that's just me. Any thoughts?
Maybe B.
He says it's me.
Yeah, with Stockholm Syndrome.
Well done.
Anybody out there do iPhone development in Objective-C?
Anybody? Anybody? You're all better off. Now, there's one guy over there. He's rehabilitated, I think.
Okay.
He's recovering. If you turn that screen around and show me Coco, I'm going to freak out. So, yeah, okay. Just saying. All right, come on up. Let's see our next contestant here. Hi there. What's your name? Where are you from?
Hi, I'm Kirk from Wellington.
Welcome, Kirk. And you a software developer?
Yes.
.NET?
Yes.
Not Java?
Not anymore.
Good. Okay. Oh, no.
User group guy.
Yeah, we allow user groups. I heard there's a few of them around here, actually.
Wellington's the best one.
I see. All right, and listen to .NET Rock?
Used to.
Okay.
Hang on. I'm going to.
Okay, that's even better. All right, here's a technical question for you.
I used to until it started sucking, then I stopped listening to it. Here you go, Kirk.
Here's an easy one for you.
Yeah. Given I enumerable of derived D equals new list of derived, I enumerable of base B equals D are the type parameters A contravariant, B covariant, or C polymorphic.
You know, anybody who knew his way around Java would know the answer to this. That would be apparent.
I'm useless with contraband.
Aren't we all?
Hint?
I don't know
Did
if
you
we
forget
can...
the answer to this one too, Richard?
No, I'm pretty sure I remember that, because I have known to be a little mentally capable about these sorts of things. I rarely
We
forget.
be reaching for hints.
What do you think?
Let's see if it's B.
Let's see if it's B.
I
It
guess
is
you're
B.
right, it's
There
B.
you go. That was almost a technical question. That's kind of scary.
For another T-shirt, what's the difference
Between contravariate and covariant. Oh, come on.
Tell us, Richard. I don't even know this.
Heck, I don't remember. I always get the explanation wrong. It's in MSDN. It's the only place you need to look.
That's right.
All right. We got 2 questions left, and then we'll tell dirty stories for the rest. Who's up for the last 2 T-shirts? Here they come. Here they come.
Oh,
No,
hurry
it's
up.
a race.
It's a race.
I might have a few extras, too, so if you feel left out, come along. Come on down. Hi there. What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Darren from Auckland.
Hi, Darren. Are you a software developer?
Yes.
You're wearing a lovely suit jacket, so I'm not really convinced. Unless you work for IBM.
No, Datacom.
Datacom? I heard of them.
So, we're bigger than IBM.
Ah, okay. All right, here's your question.
Here you go. In show 361, Jeff Richter asked Richard to determine how many threads Outlook was consuming. What was the number? 4, 63, or 270?
What do you think?
I could try a guess, but I'll go for a hint.
Go for a hint? Boy, yeah, we're really going to be reaching for any hints now.
Our hints are just drying right up.
Yeah, we're running low on hints, so I want you to be a little more thoughtful here about what the hint would be.
Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, I think 4 is too few and 27 is too many, so I'll go for B.
Says it's B.
I actually thought it was 270 personally.
Yeah.
And the way Outlook runs on my machine, it's B, 63.
Yeah, my next line after that was 63 threads, and none of them are for me.
Yeah, I know.
Because Outlook is hung again.
That's right. You think, what are you doing?
There you go, sir. Thank you very much. Congratulations. All right. Here's our last question in the stack. Hi, sir. What's your name? Where are you from?
David from Auckland.
Welcome. Are you a software developer?
Yep.
Excellent. Maybe you can answer this .NET 4.0 question.
Yeah, we saved the best for last. In .NET 4, how can you determine if your process is running in 64-bit mode? And I guarantee you this is the 64-bit question. A, is 64-bit process. B, is not 32-bit process. Or C, is using lots of memory.
Yeah, you know,
Now, let's just think about this now. One of these answers is crystal clear. Positive and crystal clear. One is probable, it would work, but probably not the right answer. And one is just silly.
A.
It says it's A.
Yeah, it's A.
It's
It's
A.
64-bit
There you
process.
go. All right. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot. Hey, we got some more T-shirts, and I got a special surprise for you guys after we're done throwing these out. And we should just throw these out, shouldn't we? If you want a T-shirt, just come on up here. It's just
Yeah, we tortured them for T-shirts,
ruse.
but now you can have them.
But
Because we've got a ton of them.
my friend Richard is going to tell you the geekiest story ever told to an audience ever. Ever.
Yeah, sure.
The funniest geek story.
You guys
you've
ever heard the Goliath story? Oh, yeah. Should I tell it?
You got to tell the Goliath
Would you like
story.
to tell the
Richard.
Goliath story? So I've been a geek for a really long time, actually. And if we turn the Wayback Machine to the middle 80s, this is before the internet was public. And back then, if you wanted to get online, you used a modem, right? Dial-up modem. My first modem was 110 baud. They got up to 300, then 1200. But we all wrote our own BBSs. It was one line at a time. You'd call in and you'd leave your little messages, and you'd hang up. The next guy would call in one after the other. This is the middle 80s software developer. So my friend Steve phones me one afternoon. And of course, he doesn't ask the question everybody asks today when you phone him, which is, where are you? Because in 1985, phones were still attached to the wall. So he already knew where I was. He could call me. He said, and he asked me, he says, can you get Bob and get down here? I need help. I've got something. Now, Steve had written a BBS called Twilight Zone. It ran on an Apple II. And he was pulling wire for a company in the IBM building. It was not IBM, it was a different company. And he had found this hard drive. So while he was working in the building, he'd spied this hard drive in the corner. But this was not an ordinary hard drive the way we know hard drives today. Back then, this was a hard drive from 1972. It was a Hewlett-Packard 750 hard drive. It was 20 megabytes, and it weighed about 500 pounds. It was the size of a washing machine. And it had been sitting in the corner of this office. unused with its manual stacked on top of it. They retired it. And he said, what do you guys do with that hard drive? And they said, do you want it? If you can get it out of here, you can have it. Easy. And so Steve had called me, and I'd gone and got Bob, and the three of us hauled this hard drive out of the building and put it in the back of Steve's car. And Steve had a 1969 Grand Torino, which is an enormous car. It actually fit in the back of that car. We called this car Titanic. We even had boat bumpers for it because it was such a big car. And we took the drive back to Steve's place. Now, a few things we learned about owning a 500-pound hard drive. The first thing is, if you have to drag it up to the attic like we did, it will crack the walls. So you have to position it very carefully. And we've ended up putting it in the corner right over a load-bearing wall so that it wouldn't damage the ceiling and walls downstairs anymore. His parents were not impressed. Next problem, it runs on 220 volts, which, not a big deal for you guys in this country, but in Canada where we run 110 volts, you actually have to pull two separate circuits up to power your hard drive. And we ended up building our own power supply to run this thing. He then built a separate computer to control the drive to connect it to the Apple II. Right? So now we had this 20 meg hard drive plugged into this computer, and the next thing we learned was don't leave the drive on because it consumes about $300 a month in electricity. Guess how we learned that? And today you'd be a marijuana grow-up, but back then we were just running a hard drive. So he learned to he actually configured it so that when you press G, when you were logged in Twilight Zone, if you press G, it would start the drive. And I was in the room the first time this happened, and it scared the snot out of me because the thing would go, and it would start shaking the walls. It would spin up to 1800 RPM. And then the head latch would release. These are 16-inch platters. They're massive things, 8 of them. And it would start seeking on this drive. I'm like, dude, this is your bedroom. How do you sleep in here? But now we had 20 megabytes of storage. Now, this is in an era of 160K floppies. So we now have an infinite supply of storage. And by golly, we're going to fill it. And so we're now pirating every piece of software we can find anywhere. We have the largest collection of ASCII porn known to man stashed on this drive. And as the years went by, and a couple of years had gone by, Steve learned so much about the drive, he rewrote the encoding system and raised the capacity of the drive to 50 megabytes, which was essentially unfillable. There was enough data in the world at the time to fill that drive. We were just filling it with anything. And then one day, he calls me again. He says, you better get over here. So I hop on my motorcycle and I ride over and I climb up into the attic and I walk into his room. I smell this smell. The smell, this sort of resiny, smoky, the smell of electronic death. And I look over at the drive and there are blast marks in the chassis. Dude, what happened? There was this lamp, which we later named David, that fell over on the power supply we had built a couple of years before, and it shorted 110 AC volts into the 5-volt round, which had wreaked havoc throughout Goliath, burnt holes through circuit boards, blew capacitors in half, created blast marks in the chassis. And so I looked at Steve and I said, what do you want to do now, Batman? He said, we can rebuild it. No, we can't. Oh, no, we can rebuild it. Now, this drive was new in 1972. This was an old hard drive, all right? This is like 1987. Now, today, when you look at integrated circuits, they're mostly, they use MOSFET technology, right? This very high density technology for transistors. And before MOSFET, there was CMOS, right? You remember CMOS? Before CMOS, there was TTL, right? Transistor logic. This was before that. This was DTL. And even in 1987, you couldn't buy this stuff anymore. And I'm like, Steve, you can't buy this stuff anymore. He said, don't worry, I have a source. All those old arcade machines are made with DTL. All we got to do is go dumpster diving in the repair shops, and we'll find the parts. And now, for the next 6 months, we go out in teams of 2, one with a clipboard and one with rubber gloves, and we jump into the dumpsters in behind of arcade repair shops, and we go through boards. And you'd pick up a board, and you'd read the chips off on the board. 3C509, no. 3C522, yes, keep that board. And then you come back to Steve's place with all the boards and you desolder the individual chips off the board that we needed, and then you'd test them, and if they worked, you added them to the stack. And after a few months, we'd actually rounded up all the parts that were damaged. And in the meantime, Steve was refabricating some of these circuit boards because they'd literally been burnt into pieces. And some he repaired, and there were a lot of new wiring on the back. And each board eventually tested out, right? He had all the service manuals for it, so he tested each board individually, and they all worked, and he reassembled Goliath. And in the meantime, everybody wanted their data back, right? I mean, we had everything we owned stored on that bloody hard drive, and it had been months. And so the day finally came when all the parts were in, and we tested everything, and it looked like it worked, and it was time to power the drive back up. And he clicked everything together, and he went over and he manually pushed G on the keyboard, first time in 6 months, and the drive lit up. And the wall started to shake, and the drive spun up to speed, and it balanced itself at 1800 RPM. Vroom, and the head latch released. And the head stroked across the length of the disk as hard as they could and slammed into the backstop. And the head snapped off the end of the arms and started pinging around inside the drive chassis, taking divots out of the disk. And I pulled the plug. Dude, head crash, big time. What do we do now, Batman? And he says, we got the bastard because it's toast. And he starts disassembling Goliath. First thing to come out is the drive caddy. It's right on the top. It's 8 aluminum platters covered with ferrous oxide with divots out of it from the heads. We disassembled that, made the world's most dangerous frisbees. You can throw them, just don't catch them. And he continues digging into the drive. In the meantime, I'm on the phone, right? I'm in the back of the room. I'm on the phone calling each person who wanted their data back from Goliath, letting them know Goliath's not coming back and your ASCII porn collection is gone for good. And the conversation turns into sort of a wake. I remember when Goliath was just a 20 meg hard drive full of ASCII porn. So I spent hours on the phone. In the meantime, Steve is digging into this drive, ripping the guts out of it, right? And finally, he gets to a point where he's in the drive. Feet off the floor, butt in the air, body inside the chassis. And he's cursing. And I look over to him, and as he comes up, he's holding something big. Now, I don't know if they ever had them down here. You remember when we were kids, there was the slot cars? Remember those little AFX slot cars? They had the little curved magnets in the motors that stuck them to the track. So imagine a curved magnet just like that, only it's this big. And as he came out of the chassis with it, and I was on the other side of the room, he came off balance and he dropped it. And it shattered. And bits of magnet went sailing all over the room, sticking to everything metal. For years, we were finding fragments of metal stuck to the underside of his bed springs, or in the heater vent, or in a hinge. There were bits of magnet everywhere. But at the time, I didn't know what the heck it was. I said, what the heck was that? He says, it's the biggest magnet I've ever seen, and there's another one. You gotta help me. And so the two of us go in, and we pry this 80-pound magnet out of this chassis. This is why this stupid drive weighed so much. And we pick up the magnet, and we turn around, and we get too close to the monitor that Twilight Zone uses. And the monitor goes, it's now a 1/4-inch wide display, and it's never coming back. And Steve says, we gotta go to an arcade. And so I take this magnet, and I'm running down the stairs with it, and we get outside, and I get too close to Titanic, and it grabs the car. I can't get it off the car. Steve wants to drive around with it on the car so we can collect Hondas as we go down the street. But no, I'm not going to do that. I get a scissor jack, and I get it between the magnet and the car, and I dent the car, but we pop the magnet off the side of the car. We wrap it in an old green towel, and I carry it in my lap as we drive to Bob's place. Not sure why we went to Bob's place. I remember wondering, as my legs were going numb, am I going to have children? Because this is a big magnet. And we go into Bob's place with this dirty towel that has an 80-pound magnet in it, and we get too close to his 2GS as we run into the room, and it goes, now we've made another 1/4-inch wide display. And Bob says, what the hell is that? And what did it do to my monitor? And we realize at that point, this thing is too dangerous for us to own. And we put it in the basement at Steve's parents' place. And we forgot about it because, we were kids. And years later, they sold that house. And I guess they just left the magnet there. Because One day, Steve's father calls him and says, the people who bought the house are complaining that every time they move a TV into a particular place in the main floor, the screen goes all weird. Would you know anything about that? And Steve said, Father, I have no idea at all. And that's the story of Goliath. So we're .NET Rocks. I hope you have a great conference. I know it's the first day. You got 2 more hard days to go. I'm doing a couple of sessions on scaling web servers on Wednesday. I hope you can come out. We will be recording a few shows while we're here, and then they'll be published in the next few weeks. So we publish 2 shows every week, and we've got stuff in the hopper right now, so there'll be some timing there. We also do an IT Pro related show called Run As Radio, and that's the address as well, Run As Radio. Feel free to give it a listen. They're all freely downloadable. They're supported by sponsors, so if you really like the shows, please buy our sponsor stuff. But that's about all I got to say about that. Have a great show.